Welcome to For Good Measure, an interview series celebrating diverse composers and other creative artists. I'm Nanette McGuinness, Artistic Executive Director of Ensemble for these times. In this week's episode, we are joined by E4TT pianist emerita, Dale Tsang. Thank you so much for joining us, Dale.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So, tell us about your musical journey, please.
Well, so I started playing piano when I was 4, mostly out of jealousy because my brother was already learning the piano. He's older. Um, so it was kind of I had to get the better of the situation. So I learned, uh, begged my mom for lessons. She had to beg the teacher for lessons, and then I wouldn't stop playing the piano after that. So I think at some point around 10 years old or something, someone noticed that I had perfect pitch.
Ah.
Oh, that's a good thing to have. I didn't realize other people didn't. And then after that, I was winning competitions a lot and playing a lot with the chamber music, a lot of solo piano, some concerti, even as a little kid. And so everybody realized I was pretty good. And I think at first I liked the attention, and of course I liked the music enough. But by the time I hit high school, it's like I really actually enjoy this. It's not just not just the accolades and, obviously I'm good at it, but it was getting to explore music that it was a whole world out there that was really nice. And when I went to college, I was very lucky to study with John Perry. He met me when I think I was around 10 when he met me. So, and he followed me for all that time and really wanted me to study with him. So that was a huge deal in my life when I went to work with him because he's just all about music and the love of music. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great.
so but that was most of my journey. And then finishing my degrees, it was yeah, I being in a music school is so much fun. It's so hard to leave because it's
School is
all
hard to
about
leave.
being in music and getting to do what you really love. But I have always had an interest in new music, even in my undergrad days. So I at this point I very rarely play music of what I call dead guys. Because other people are already playing it. There's no, I feel like, Chopin, I don't need to play ever again because I did play a lot of it. Some of my students say, is it okay if I play Chopin? I said, of course, you need to play Chopin.
Right.
I don't need to because I did already, but you need to go through the process of, learning the fundamental things, the popular things, the famous things, and then branch from there. But yeah, so at this point, I don't need to play the things that other people are playing, but I really do need to play the things that are not being performed. That's why I like the work that E4TT does because it's all about either saving work that has been lost along the way or promoting new stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
thank
nice
you.
week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what we do, isn't it? Um, you went to Rice and then I think you went to grad school in Michigan and then how did you wind
I
up out
went I
here?
went to USC first for my undergrad,
Oh, okay.
and then Michigan for my master's, and then Rice for my doctorate.
Got it. So
Yeah.
how did you end up out here?
Well, I was born and raised in Northern California, so I went to I spent all of my childhood in Walnut Creek. Went to Northgate High School. People are
Oh.
Walnut Creekers. Yeah, and then after going to colleges, of course, Los Angeles. I was there during the Rodney King riots.
Oh.
Michigan, Ann Arbor is beautiful, but it's very cold, and Houston, Texas is really hot. So, out of the choice of those three, this seemed like a good place to come back to.
It's a wonderful place to come to, in fact. And yeah, Michigan is very cold and Houston isn't just hot, it's hot and humid. You know, I grew up there, so
Humid,
yeah,
super humid.
I'm I get that. Well, we're all glad you wound up back here, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and the music scene here is nice. There's a lot going on, especially with new music. So that's
There is, isn't it? It's really active. That actually is a nice segue to our second question, which is to talk about performing with and working with E4TT.
yeah. So I guess the first thing that we did together was just some of David Garner's songs. And
Right.
this was at least 10 years ago now.
More
I
than
don't
that,
remember.
I'm maybe 2012. Is that
It's
possible?
possible. Yeah, I don't remember how long exactly. And I think at that point, there was that was part of the Jewish Music and Poetry Project.
Right.
And I got hooked because it's like, wow, this is, there's music out there and poetry that is just, of course, where did it go during the Holocaust and, got lost and stuffed in people's attics and,
Right.
things that
Right.
needed to be dug up and found and treasured for what they are. So yeah, I thought that was a great idea. And then yeah, after that, it's, all the commissioning and meeting and playing music of composers from all around the world. It's a great mission, great organization. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great having you playing with us. And yeah, I think one of the very first things you did for us was the tour to Berlin, performing in
Yeah,
Berlin.
yeah, yeah. We were
That
doing
was
the German
pretty
song.
early. Yeah, I think you'd played like one concert and then the tour. Yeah, and then now it's been really great having you come back to do the
That's
calls for
great.
scores.
That's a thing that is near and dear to my heart. I think that's what I've always wanted to do is really encourage new music, especially for solo piano. And then this time it's going to be for for piano four hands. Um, and there's just not enough repertoire. Every time that I have a duet partner that we play together, sometimes she's not a big contemporary music person.
This is
But looking through the files of what there has been, there is not a lot. So, everybody kind of ends up playing the same things over and over again. So it's really nice to be able to encourage new music, and any style is great. It really doesn't matter as long as it's for four hands and yeah, it's fun to explore and fun to listen to and yeah.
yeah, four hands and good.
And good, exactly. That's important, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was your idea to do, wasn't it, to do four hands this time around?
Yeah, yeah, because we've done enough of well, not enough. We'll have to do more, so
Yeah.
solo ones. But it's nice to have a little change, especially because we've got this collaboration going with the Ross McKee Foundation, and their competition and their laureates, and it just seemed like a really good idea to get these young pianists involved, not only in new music, but in four hands music, because, piano is a very lonely instrument. You end up practicing yourself and, you get on stage and you perform, but then you're still, you're in your own mind.
Yeah, yeah,
Unless you seek chamber music or seek, duo situations, you're only making music for yourself and then the audience and then yourself. But it's not the same thing, I think, as working with somebody else. So
no, it absolutely isn't. I mean, as a singer, everything I do is collaborative,
right,
right? That
right.
I do, and singers continue to work with coaches and teachers in the rest of their performing lives
Yeah.
in ways that other instruments do not. So we're not lonely in the
Right.
same way.
Well, I think most instruments end up working with a pianist, or, it's really just the pianist that ends up working by themselves. Well, I guess guitar, there are a few instruments that are lonely instruments themselves also, but piano, I think, is one of those fundamental, there's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much volume and there's so much repertoire, and, you can just spend your whole time not working with other people, but
right.
not
If
a
you're
good
a
idea.
soloist,
Yeah.
no, and it's really fun working with other
Yeah.
musicians. That's
Right.
one of the big joys, challenges, but joys
Yeah.
in doing a chamber music. Enough so that when I was in grad school, one of my master's recitals had to have an obligato instrument for one of the recitals because they said you're going to need to coordinate and
Mm. Yeah.
you're going to need to learn to do it. That was explicitly stated.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, that's really great. And the Ross McKee Foundation collaboration is wonderful and it's continuing for a second year. And I hope it keeps going past that. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we'll see where it develops from there. I know the Ross McKee Foundation is really great at encouraging not only new music, but this performances of um any piano music. So it doesn't have to be new music. But this
Right.
is a really I know they've also funded duo piano collaborative performances too. So this is right up their alley. It's kind of putting a lot of things together for their cause. And yeah, so it's perfect. It's a nice partnership.
Very much so. And it's really good for the pianists to work with composers, because maybe some of them will come to the concert or they'll have questions for them or something like that, because that lets what we're doing become or stay living instead of being a museum piece.
That's right. Yeah. And part of the call for scores is not just trying to find an international roster of composers. It's really nice to have people from Europe and people from Asia and South America, but the students too. I think that was part of the review of the scores, is to just kind of keep an eye out for who the young people, because it's really nice to encourage them.
Yeah.
Even though it's not explicitly stated, definitely. At least I know for me, when I'm looking at the scores, like, okay, this person's a student. I would like to just, if there's really a spark in there, I'd like to encourage it.
Well, that's interesting. I don't actually pay attention to that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And so it's good that we have multiple people, that you, David, and I are curating the winning scores. I mean, your thumb is the heaviest on the scale because you have to play the stuff.
That's okay though. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice because David can definitely vet, is this good compositional style? Is it, does everything work musically, like, yeah, that kind of thing. And then of course you have the whole view of, what is beautiful, what fits into the repertoire, what fits into the mission of the group. And then I have the pianist. Okay, yes, I have to sit down and learn this. Do I really want to? And some of the pieces that we've chosen in the past have been so hard, but that's okay. I mean, it's worth the time, it's worth the effort, and it's really fun. So.
They are sometimes hard. I think you like a challenge, though.
I do like a challenge for sure. Yeah, I don't like challenges for no reason.
No, right.
But I like challenges when, especially when they teach me something new that I feel like is something that I haven't learned in the past. Like, for example, like we had some pieces that were like a bluegrass style thing and a lot of jazzy things. And I'm not a jazz pianist, but learning, what it takes to pull those off and to make it sound kind of like I'm a jazz pianist it's fun. So, yeah.
And I mean, both you and I have the chops in terms of degrees and background, you with your DMA, me with my doctorate in musicology, to figure out if a piece is well constructed. But I still think having a composer's viewpoint is really useful.
Yeah, for sure.
And very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to For Good Measure. And a special thank you to our guest, Dale Tsang, for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast by clicking on the subscribe button and support us by sharing it with your friends, posting about it on social media, and leaving us a rating and a review. To learn more about E4TT, our concert season online and in the Bay Area, or to make a tax-deductible donation, please visit us at www.e4tt.org. This podcast is made possible by grants from the California Arts Council, the San Francisco Arts Commission, Grants for the Arts, and generous donors like you. For Good Measure is produced by Nanette McGuinness and Ensemble for These Times and designed by Brennan Stokes, with special thanks to co-producer and audio engineer Stephanie M. Neumann. Remember to keep supporting equity in the arts and tune in next week for Good Measure.